Hello and welcome to another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley, joined today by founder of AttractWell, Greg Kilwine. Hi, Greg.
Hello, everybody. We're really glad to hear today.
We are so excited to have you here today. Today, we're going to be talking about QR codes and how you can incorporate them into AttractWell, how you use your AttractWell and share your AttractWell account. So as you're coming in, whether you are here on Zoom Live or if you're in our Facebook group, come in, say hello, let us know where in the world you are, and tell us a little bit about what you do. We're always interested to hear more about the folks that find their way to us. We are really, really happy with who we are attracting into this community, and we're always just so excited to learn more about you. And of course, you all should definitely be learning about each other and seeing different ways that you can benefit from the work that we all do together. So again, please feel free. Introduce yourself, let us know where in the world you are and what you do. So if you've never joined us here before, hello. We are live here every single Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern US time. This is an opportunity for you to get to know AttractWell and get more skilled at using its features. But it's also a great way for you to get a brush up on some of the basics of marketing and business strategy, whether you are a seasoned business owner doing what you do, or maybe you're venturing into a new world of operating digitally, or you're, some kind of hybrid somewhere in between. No matter where you are in your journey, we hope that you'll find something that will serve you well in the content that we're creating. You'll find loads of it on our YouTube channel, where we do send these recordings once they are processed. Make sure that's a youtube.com/AttractWell. Subscribe to us there if you watch us there. And of course, we do also have the opportunity to tune in live and work together on these calls every week. We did start this week streaming into our Facebook group as well. That's called Coaching Simplified with AttractWell, free community. Absolutely come join us and be a part of the conversations happening there. So as promised, today is a QR code focused training. This is something that might actually be of use to you, even if you don't necessarily do a lot of print marketing or print media in the strategies that you use for your business. So stay tuned for that. This is also importantly a request of a member of our community. I wanted to make sure that you guys know that, because this is something that we are always looking for. If there's something you're working on that you want support on, that you want to learn more about, we are here for it. So let us know. And of course, you may find that your topic request turns into a training like this one today. So again, head over into the chat if you haven't already. I know folks are coming in. I can see from California, Seattle, Palm Bay, Florida, Arizona. Fantastic. We got both the coasts represented, and Greg right here in the middle, the north part. Awesome. Ciao from Berlin. Hello, TL. Nice to see you. Fantastic. All right. So today we're going to go ahead and hop out of video here so we can get into the slides and into today's content. So let me hop over here and do that, and we should be good to go. All right, now please make sure if you have any questions as we're going through this, that you add those to the Q&A so we can make sure we get to them. Okay, so today we're talking about how to use QR codes with AttractWell. So we'll be getting into what they are, how they can connect to your AttractWell account, and then of course, how you can make and share them. And as always, we do have live help and Q&A on today's call. If you would like to join us on a live call like this one in the future, if you're watching this as a replay, or if you click the link from your AttractWell dashboard when you are logged in, make sure you're on the list. We send out replays. You'll be the first to receive any of the resources that we create. And of course, we announce what we'll be training on at the first of every week. So go to AttractWell.com/office hours to be on that list, to be notified. And if you would like to work together today, or as I am working with others today, if you'd like to work together on a future live call, you can go to AttractWell.com/work review, and we can review your work. So if that's reviewing your strategy, your design, your content, whatever that might be, we've got an opportunity to do that here. Whatever you're doing in your AttractWell account, we can take a look at on this live call. And if you are looking for support, if you know what you want, but you just, need somebody to do it for you, then you can get that done as well at AttractWell.com/concierge. Now head over into the chat. Let me know, do you use QR codes for your business? Destigene, I see a question here from you in the chat about whether or not you should be here. If you are not a paid member of AttractWell, you are more than welcome here. I hope that you you maybe are inspired to try something new in your business today as a result of what you receive. You're more than welcome to be here. This is not just for folks who are paid members of AttractWell. All right, so let us know, what do you do with your Robert says, no, stay, you'll love it. Thank you, Robert. What do you guys do with QR codes? Do you use them currently, or are you kind of trying to figure out whether or not you want to use them? Mark says he's not sure how they would fit in with his work. Yep. And if you are a coach and you're working mostly in the digital world where people are interacting with you on screens, then it might not be the most obvious thing, but there are some things that we can do to utilize this really interesting technology. So let's see, we've got digital business card. Awesome. Very cool. All right. So we'll talk about some different use cases today. All right. So if we don't know what QR codes are, they're everywhere now, especially with the last couple of years. I know we're getting back to normal after the pandemic, but a lot of restaurants, for instance, have moved into using these so that they were reducing the sort of germ exposure, right, by the shared menus in restaurants. You scan the code at the table, you get the menu on your phone, etc., right? So these are something that are becoming more and more common and used in a lot of different places. So what they essentially are codes that are readable by smartphones that are used for storing and sharing URLs or web addresses, okay? And they can be made for free. There's a lot of free places where you can get them, or you could also have them custom with something like your logo on the inside, just as an example. Those usually come from paid services. They can be used in physical instances where sharing a URL is inconvenient. So think if you are doing an expo and you have a table, and maybe you're not trying to hand out flyers, but you want to send people to a page where they could opt in, right? That's an example of something you could do. You could have a QR code on a banner. A lot of this is very obvious and well utilized, I think, for folks who do any kind of promoting on an in-person basis, right? Where it's not quite so easy to just shoot a link over to somebody, right? So if you're already operating online, you can just send somebody a link and they can click it, right? But if you are out in the world and you want to share information, whether that be a link to a website, a link to your contact information, or a link to a page where they can enter themselves into your AttractWell system, right? Have them turn into a new contact for you. These are things that are actually very practically useful for really the majority of us, regardless of how you promote. And the cool thing about these is that once you've created them, you can keep using them. So once you create a code, it's connected to an address, and you could use that same code to share that same address on a business card, on a printed flyer, as an image on your phone that you can show somebody to scan with their phone out in the, belly to belly world that we all used to exist in, so that they can get your website link or whatever that might be, right? So QR codes have a number of different really interesting applications for folks who are in coaching, consulting, and service-based businesses. Let's talk first about where they appear, and then we'll talk a little bit about some examples of how you might be using them to point to places, so where they might go. So where they appear would be on things like flyers, right? Printed materials, marketing materials. Business cards are a phenomenal way to do this. And this is also, I think, important as well when you consider, depending on your website, if you're wanting to send somebody to a landing page on your website as opposed to the homepage of your website, which is often a more effective way to generate leads, is to send them to a landing page and not to your homepage. You could have a QR code on your business card, and that's going to allow them to go straight to exactly where you want them, right? And you are thus able to get a better result out of that share. Product labels, if you do any sort of samples in what you do, or if you have, flyers that you hand out, or if you, I'm thinking, for instance, of people who have any kind of physical product that you offer or share, whether that is a gift or something that you sell, putting a QR code on a product label allows them to scan that code with their phone, and then go and learn more about that product or buy it again, right? Banners, of course, again, looking at printed stuff and in any kind of print media. So if you are paying to have maybe in a local paper or in an industry publication, a print publication, if you are writing an article as a guest writer for for some kind of quarterly publication, for instance, in your industry, you might include a QR code there to allow somebody to go and get the download that you're offering related to your article's topic. And that would, of course, go to a landing page. And this is a powerful one. If you are in person delivering a keynote, how many of us here are speakers or would like to be, right? We're on that path to getting booked and using in-person keynotes to deliver, whether that be the actual value of what we offer or the lead up to and pitch of what we offer. If you are in person delivering a talk and you're using slides, a QR code is a fantastic way to sell or give away something from stage so that you can collect leads or get new clients, right? So Dr. Henry here, he is a speaker, he's used the QR code on his keynote. There you go. So that is a really cool way that if you are, again, if you're speaking, you've got people who are in person, and it's so much more clunky to have on your site. Go to drguyhenry.com/this/that, right? Just pop a QR code there and people can just scan it and go straight to where you want them to go. Now let's talk about where they point, right? Because that's what these QR codes do. It just creates a way for the code to tell your phone to go to a place on the web, right? So we need to know, if we're going to create a QR code, where we're going to send somebody. So here's some examples. The homepage of your website, perfectly fine place to send somebody. Even more effective place to send somebody is to a page where you're offering something. A landing page is what we would call this, which can be a page or an actual term landing page inside of AttractWell, which is essentially a page with a form with it, with a form that's on it, you guys, where you're offering something in exchange for their name and email address so that you are generating leads. So we want to send them to a place where we can collect their information if our goal in that instance is lead generation. But we could also send it to a sales page. If you are giving a keynote and you have really laid out a great case for someone to purchase a book from you or to purchase a session with you, or to apply for a discovery call, yes, also that, then we could send them to that page, right? That could be, again, something that you put on printed materials. It could also live in your slides if you are delivering in-person talks. They could be on the back of flyers that you hand out, and this is applicable whether you have a business that's brick and mortar or not. And of course, this is something that could be on a business card, right? That's the QR code on your business card could go to that book a discovery call. So if you're generally out in the world, and if you would hand your card to somebody only because they seem like they'd be a great fit for you, then use that to point them to exactly the place on your website that you want them to go, right? Another way that you can use these QR codes, and again, this is something that's going to maybe pertain specifically to print media, right? So publishing in a magazine or a paper, or if you are delivering from stage, if you have an event coming up and you do have an events manager in AttractWell. So if you have an event coming up, you could send them to an event page. And then finally, if you have a product, if you have any physical products, or if you maybe offer samples of products so that you can sell, if you're maybe referring, if you're a direct sales rep, then you could have a QR code on the product itself that when they're ready to reorder, they can scan the code that's on that bottle or whatever the container is, and it will send them to the product listing in your store. Another place, of course, again, this is more of a note for those of us who are in direct sales, then you could actually have your affiliate link to that product be in that QR code, not even necessarily on your website, if that were the case. That's what you're looking to do. And then really ultimately, any page that is publicly visible on your AttractWell site is a place that you can send someone to with a QR code, All right. So long as it is a URL that is active, that goes somewhere where people can see stuff, you can send them there with a QR code. All right. So now let's talk about how we actually start using these. How can we make and use them, get this done? Number one, we need to know what we're doing, right? So where will the QR code be placed? Where are we using it? And for what purpose? Where are we going to send people? So again, if we're thinking about the design, for instance, of your business card, you could give a business card away that just says, I'm a realtor, right? Or you could have a business card that says, I am a realtor in Denver for first-time homebuyer families. And you can have a checklist. You can say, I offer a checklist and free consults. Learn about both of them here. And they scan the QR code. And then that person who has that card, they know that that's for them, but they also know that that card is something that they could hand, is something they could hand to someone else, right? They could actually make that useful for someone else. So if you take something that would normally be a very general thing that you would create, you could get more targeted with the way that you create it and its specific intention. What do I want my card to do? What do I want my flyer to do? Or whatever that thing might be. And then you just want to make sure that we're connecting it to a place on your website where that thing can be accomplished. Your goal of handing out a business card, just to stick with that example, is to get a lead, right? So why not make the place you're pointing someone to from your business card be a place where you collect their name and email address and start delivering a series of pre-written emails, which we call a campaign in AttractWell. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is, once we figured out where this thing's going to go, where it's going to point, we want to obtain the URL from your AttractWell site. From there, we're going to go to our favorite QR code generator and create our code. And just make sure, and this is just a best practice for your future use, make sure that you save the file name of this QR code. It is an image that you create. Make sure to save its file name with the same name as the destination page. So for instance, if you create a QR code for your homepage, let's name it homepage. If we're creating a QR code for your buyer's guide landing page, then call that QR code file on your computer or wherever you're keeping it, the buyer's guide landing page. Or of course, if you're going to create it in Canva, which I'm going to be sharing with you guys here in just a bit, then you can use the digital file there in Canva, just so that you know what it is and where to find it. And the cool thing about these QR codes, by the way, if you are using these in print, is that they're going to go to, like, the QR code doesn't change, but you can change the QR code, like where it points. So long as that code is on your card, it's going to go to wherever you have told the QR code generator to send them, right? So you don't have to go and create new business cards if you decide to change the address that you want to send somebody to. You just need to change the QR code itself, which is pretty cool. And that is, to be fair, I think that feature that I'm talking about right now is something that you probably need to use a paid QR code creator to do, but definitely check that out for yourself. All right, and then the final thing here is we want to take that QR code and we want to place it on whatever it is that we're using, in our keynote slide, in our printed materials, in the banner that we put up at our booth when we go to an expo or whatever that might be. We add that to wherever we're designing that thing so that it's included when it's printed. So it's pretty straightforward. Let's actually go over to, I'm going to go over to the AttractWell dashboard here, and we are going to figure out if it's going to let me change my share here. Maybe now? Okay, perfect. All right, so we'll go over here to AttractWell. We're going to find a suitable place to send someone in Jane's account. So let's just say, for instance, Jane is wanting to collect leads from her business card. We'll just stick with that example for now. So we will go over to, I believe in Pages, we have a couple of things that we offer. But let's just go take a quick look and see. The first option would obviously be to send folks, to her website. Right, so this is the first and simplest option, right? But the next one could be that we want to send them to an application to book a call, right? So let me see if I have something here with that appropriate name. I don't know if I have that in this account. So yeah, if you have a page that has a form where somebody might apply for a call with you, then you could certainly use that as well. So let's go and see. Oh, and this is another great one. And my favorite things, if you're just wanting to send somebody to a page where like your affiliate products are listed, you could do that. But generally speaking, I am always going to recommend that you send them to a place where they can either purchase or they can become your lead. All right, so how about this? We'll send them to a sales page, right? We want to actually send them straight to a place where they can take an action. So here's our sales page. Talks about our program, and it offers an opportunity for purchase. Now, our next step is going to be to come over here into Canva. And we're going to be learning this together at the same time because I've not created a QR code with Canva before. So we are going to create a design, and we're going to make that a logo. And I think it's in the apps. Here we go, QR code right there. So here's our URL, we're gonna paste it. And we can customize it by giving it color if we want to. So we can use our brand color, we can increase or decrease the margin, etc. And we can generate the QR code. So you could actually fit this into your branding wherever you'd like it. So this QR code is now something that we can embed into whatever we'd like. So this is going to our sales page. So I'm going to call this sales page here in Canva. I should spell that correctly. Here we go. So sales page. And when I share this to my device, this is something that I'm going to also make sure is named sales page so that I can easily use it. So now we're going to go into Canva, and maybe we will design a business card. And we'll just use one of the templates that they already have here. And here's actually, here's a great one. You could actually pop your code into one that already has this, right? There's already a QR code here. Now, obviously, you're probably not a restaurant. Let me go back to that. But you would simply take that. All right, so we're going to apply both pages. Perfect. So you would put your logo here. You'd put your logo there, and then you can insert your QR code here. So let's go to projects, see all, and then here's our sales page QR code. I'm going to add a new page, and I'm just going to grab this and copy it and paste it right here. And I'm going to size it down. QR codes can be read on phones even when they're quite small. We'll place it right here. And then I'm going to use this same text formatting to say, you know, learn more about my program here. And then we'll just take this guy and make the text wrap, right? And so you can incorporate it right there. Okay. Now, another instance that we could use is maybe in a keynote, which you could certainly create in Canva as well. So keynote presentation. Again, highly recommend utilizing the pre-existing templates here. They're all pretty awesome. Here's a minimalist pitch deck. I'll apply all 20 pages. And obviously it's pitch deck. At the end of this, we're going to want to send them somewhere. And so here, we will, instead of putting all that weird contact information here, I already have it on my clipboard. I can just paste. Oops, no, I don't have it on my clipboard. So I'm going to actually go and back to projects. this sales page. I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to undo my steps and then I'm going to paste it there. So again, this is an option, right? So this is what you would use, right? Just pop that into your final slide. All right, Robert says, you'll probably not cover this, but just in case, it's worth mentioning that some QR code generators route the code through their site before going to your site. If the client or prospect doesn't see a difference, they don't see a difference. The difference is you don't own the QR code, and if you want them to release it, they'll charge you for it. Be sure and do your due diligence, but I believe QR Monkey is not like this. Canva is most likely not like that either. Thank you, Robert, for sharing that. So what he's saying essentially is to be mindful of the QR code generator that you use so that you can make sure that you have ownership of it and it's not being necessarily like rerouted or gatekept with the work that you're doing. So Canva definitely is something that's useful here. But he says QR Monkey may not be an issue with that. Okay, so that's an example of a slide. There we go. It did go. Greg said he tested it and it went directly to the URL and not a URL shortener. Thank you for that. All right, let's get into some Q&A here. Brandon says, as a coach, would using 2 different QR codes for 2 different landing pages be unnecessary? For example, what if I'm out and about and I have someone who I think would be a good fit for my free lead magnet? Should I set up a QR code for that landing page? Now, what if I meet someone who is a better fit for my one-on-one services and I want to send them to my consultation application landing page? Should I set up a QR code, a separate one for that as well? 100%, Brandon. Yeah, create a QR code for each of those instances. And, you know, another thing that you could do, and here's an idea for you guys, is use a, I'm going to look up a phone wallpaper. Now, this is a cool thing that you could do belly to belly that requires no printing. So you can create phone wallpaper. And so this is just going to have the dimensions more or less of most smartphones that would work with most smartphones. And you could create something that's sort of like a digital business card here that you can pull up and allow somebody to scan from your phone, right? This would be a neat thing that you could do. So maybe you pick your brand color. And so here's this one. And then I'm going to go and create a QR code. And there's actually more of these. Here's another QR code generator to create a more dynamic one. Oh, I don't have that connected. I don't want to do that. Never mind. I'm just going to use, they actually have a few different examples here, but I'm just going to use the built-in Canva one. So let's just say this is going to be your to your landing page. And that is something that we'll just pretend like this is your landing page where you offer your freebie. It could also be a VCF file. You guys know what a VCF file is? You know, your contact card in your phone, if you wanted to share your contact information with somebody, have your website address in there, phone number, etc. You could save that as a VCF and put that into your files section here. And you can actually connect that to a QR code as a way to send somebody your contact information, which is an interesting in-person thing that you could do. But yeah, let's just pretend like this URL is your landing page and you're out and about and you want to make sure that you can send it to somebody easily. So let's go back into Canva and we're going to add this URL here and we're going to customize it and give it a different background color. Maybe this one, and the foreground color, I think we'll make, you can actually preview this, which is pretty cool. So we'll play around with that a little bit. I want to lessen the margin and generate the code. All right, and so this could be, again, it could be your freebie or it could be book a call and you could put the text on here, right? So we'll say, get my guide. And this is something, again, you would show this from your device. So it would just be like, you know, hey, scan this code from my phone. And this works, this is a very in-person thing that I'm sharing with you right now. But that is kind of the purpose of this, is to make this really effective for when you are just out in the world. So they scan this code, you're pulling this up. It's a photo that's on your phone. So you have an album of these on your phone and you can just pop this up and show them. It's pretty cool, right? Tanya says, are you using the Canva integration with AttractWell or from your Canva account? So I'm in my Canva account right now, but you could do this in AttractWell. The thing is though, like the Canva integration with AttractWell, that's going to allow you to create an image and import that into your AttractWell account. There are very likely some cases for displaying a QR code on a page on your site, but there's a lot fewer of them. I mean, the majority of the time you're going to be using a QR code in something that people are going to be seeing in person. And so that's less likely going to be on a page on your website, but you could certainly create a page on your website that looks like this, and then just have it bookmarked, pull it up and, use it the same way. The AttractWell connection to Canva will work for if you wanted to create something just like this. You could still use the Canva button in AttractWell. All right, TL says, my go-to move now would be to generate a code for my mailing list. Yep. Any recommendations on how to best use this smartly? The scenario I'm thinking is of live concerts and workshops and random encounters where I want to get someone on the list ASAP seamlessly. Yes. Yeah, 100%. What you would do is you would create something like this. And again, you would show it. So you could just pop this up on your phone, show it, tell them to scan it, right? Or you could obviously put the QR code onto whatever printed material or banner, flyer, whatever you would have at that live event. Beth, the way that this integrates back into AttractWell is actually in how I set up this QR code. So your AttractWell event link or your AttractWell homepage or your AttractWell landing page is going to be the link that the QR code is generated to share. That's how this connects, right? So what we're talking about really here is how we take a QR code and set it up so that we can use it to promote our AttractWell account. Dr. Henry, can you remind where in Canva you are using for the phone screen? So all I did was search for phone wallpaper as a template in Canva to create that image, right? So Beth, this isn't exactly like it's not like an integration, right? Because most people don't, if somebody can go to a website and they're sitting in front of a computer, they're not going to use a QR code, most likely, because they could just click a link and go to wherever they need to go, right? But if you are out in the world, right, and you want to send someone to your website, then a QR code is a really quick and easy way to do that. And so what you need is to have your page or whatever it is that you are wanting to promote in AttractWell, grab that link, and then you go to your QR code generator. I am using Canva as an example today, but there are plenty of other places where you could go online for free or paid to create those codes that you can use to share. Okay, Tanya, is there a way to link a QR code to my text list opt-in? Yeah, for sure. You could create a landing page in AttractWell or a page in AttractWell that requires phone. So I'll just use a landing page as an example. So when you set up your landing page, we'll create a new one here, and this will just tell them to, sign up for the text list. And then they'll put in their name. You can choose whether or not, if you're using Pages, you can choose whether or not email is there. And in the settings, and actually, no, you can choose whether email is there. And then you can require phone, right? So there's their name, there's their phone. And then once you publish this landing page, you hit view, that's the link that you're going to use to set up your QR code. Okay. Do you guys have any other questions? I'm curious to know if there's anything else that you guys would like to see or know about how to integrate this. This really is sort of like an AttractWell adjacent thing. It's like a tool you can use to promote your AttractWell site. Because again, like if you have a page on your website, there's not really a lot of use for putting a QR code on a page on your website. unless you're going to be maybe doing a presentation where you show your website and people are in person and they're going to hold up their phone. Generally speaking, if you're sitting at a computer or you're on your phone, you can't scan a QR code if you're on your phone. Like if this QR code's on your phone screen, your QR code reader is right here. So you can't really get to it. Awesome. So let's get into any questions or Q&A that we have. And then we also have Frank and TL that have live reviews today. You can take a picture, yeah, but then you'd have to put it onto another screen that you would then put your phone on. So I mean, you can, yes. But we're kind of thinking through sort of like what the optimal use cases are here. And if somebody's on a website, it's a lot more effective for them to just click a link, right? If you're already on a page, you can go and then go to wherever you need to go. But if you want to post a flyer somewhere, or if you're at a table, or you have a business card, or if you're, doing a keynote presentation, something like that, or if you are publishing in print media, that's also a fabulous way. If you put an ad in a paper or things like that, you're going to be able to maybe promote an event that way. That would be a great way to promote an event. Okay, so let me see. I know Frank, you're here. Let me bring you out to chat, and then TL, I'll bring you out. Thank you guys for your patience. Hi, Frank. It looks like you're muted. Can you hear me? Do let me know if perhaps you're unable to chat. Maybe put that into the chat here or message us directly. Do have you down for a live review today, and we can chat through whatever you would like to work on. And if you're unable to, then I can go ahead and bring TL out to chat. So just let me know. I think here we'll come back. We'll come back to you and give that a shot. Just shoot us a quick message and let us know. All right, TL, let me bring you out to chat. Hello again. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you folks doing today?
Fantastic. How can we help?
Okay, so I remember back in the day, you had told me about how referrals could be a powerful tool for me to use in my business. This was quite a few months back. I'd like to confirm, just to give you a bit of a background, I've been hosting a podcast for a couple of years now, way before podcasting became as fashionable as it is now. And I've had the privilege of having some really high profile, extremely credible guests on there. And I'm about to launch my first flagship course on the 1st of October, which is very connected to the line of work a lot of these guests are. So I guess what I'm trying to ask is it, or how ethical or cool is it for me to hit these people up and work on referrals? And how in God's name does one go about referrals? Because I have no idea. It's a completely new, I have vague ideas about how that works, but I'm not an expert. So I'm hoping you would do the honors.
Okay, so you've got audience A, and you are wanting to put this course in front of them. And is there, like, what would you say the degree of alignment is that sort of exists between this audience and this offer?
Okay, my course is called the Ultimate Independent Artist Roadmap. And some of my guests have included very well-respected artists, mentors, teachers, and even artist development experts, some of whom I've collaborated with, who have their own audiences, and just their name in itself would be extremely credible to have as associated in any way with this course. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, for sure. So the first step is always, the answer is going to be with content. So because you have interviewed them, maybe the time is now to ask that maybe they interview you. And then what you could do is, and I saw a recommendation here to create an affiliate program. The step before creating an actual program would be to actually just work out an agreement with a couple of people who have aligned audiences. So if there are 2 or 3 people with whom you've got these relationships and they have the right audience, you could approach them and say, hey, I've created this program. I really respect the work that you've done. Really appreciate you having come out and, been on my podcast. Wanted to see if you might be interested in exploring a conversation about how we might, co-op or work together cooperatively to get people into this course or program. And where they say yes, you guys can work out what percentage of sales you want to, to give them. But you just create, let's just say, a coupon code, because that's always going to be a great way to facilitate promotion, is to help people feel like they're getting a deal, and especially if it's like limited. So you give them a coupon code, which is just creating a new payment option for your program in AttractWell, and that is the name of whomever that referrer is, that referral partner that you've created. And so you would be able to, in your AttractWell account, search for that tag with that creator's name, and then you would be able to see, who was referred, did they pay, etc. And then you could work something out like that. And that is like the more manual approach to like having affiliates. You don't have to go straight into like getting an affiliate software and trying to, to run things that way. You could just basically have very specific partnerships with very specific people, and you're just creating a code option for them. So you can, and that's another option too, to maybe help sweeten the deal and the idea of saying, hey, I've created this course. I would like to offer it to your audience for a discount. Is that something you'd be open to? And then you create that for them.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought of doing that for a bit. I guess what I'm trying to figure out is what's in it for the person I'm approaching. And I do believe I've heard of a model where they make a profit off it as well, which, to be absolutely honest, is something I feel instant resistance to, because I feel like a second-hand car salesman, and I have my issues with that model. But I do want to know what exactly I'm resisting. Can you help me out there? How does that work?
So typically affiliates of programs, and it does depend on the program and how leveraged it is and how much of your personal time it takes. But affiliates, will typically get, depending on their list size and all of that, anywhere between 5 or even sometimes 1 or 2%, all the way up to, something like 20%, rarely more than that. So it depends on, I think, the size of the audience, the commitment of them to really like promote, right? If the way you want to look at it is this: if you want to share profit with someone, then they need to demonstrate a level of commitment, right, to working with you. So if you were to engage in some kind of an affiliate opportunity there, where you're going to maybe give them 10%, then you might look at that as, you'll get 10%, but you need to email your list this many times, right? Or, it's going to be for this period of time, etc. But honestly, I mean, if these are people that you've already given like audience to, like you've elevated them on your podcast, you've already kind of put the goodwill forward there for you to say, hey, I've been working on a new project, and I'm really excited to get it out to the world and talk about it and some of these other ideas. I think that this could be really beneficial for some of the folks in your audience. Would you be interested in setting up, an interview with me, right? And since you've already interviewed them, you've already kind of got like the scales are already kind of heavy in one way that they could see favorable to balance socially. And in that instance, you wouldn't have to offer any kind of profit share, right? There's nothing wrong with like feeling resistance to like giving away the money you're earning. Like if you're feeling that, don't do it. But you could use the goodwill.
It's not so much about, I don't mind giving away the money. It's more about, I think some of these guests might just I guess I'm worried about coming across as too much of an opportunist because a lot of these guests were way out of my league when they agreed to come onto my podcast. They completely took a chance on me. Um, and the podcast has grown over the years, but at the time they did me a massive one. So and there's no doubt about that. And I do feel, I guess I'm gauging, how appropriate is it for me to now kind of approach them to use their leverage for my business. I'm new to this, so I'm trying to figure this out. So I guess the advice I'm looking, what's the most polite way to go about this without coming across as sleazy?
Well, I mean, I would revisit how you approached them to ask them to be interviewed on your podcast and ask to be interviewed on theirs. I mean, use your most authentic, heart-centered language, right? I wouldn't overthink this because it is your vulnerability, your honesty, your energy that had them say yes in the first place, which, they, like you said, were kind of taking a chance on you as somebody who is newer, and you weren't asking for anything in return. And really, like, they automatically get more visibility, more backlinks. It's only good for them to be interviewed by more people who are in alignment with them. And so, what you're essentially doing is coming back and not saying like, hey, let's talk about reciprocation, but you can go and ingratiate yourself to them and say, hey, I'm really excited to have had you on. The podcast has been growing. Really excited about the growth that I've seen. I've been working on a new project and I am looking for opportunities to be interviewed myself. Is that something that you could see happening in the near future? Just something like that. Genuine, just
Gotcha.
honest. Yeah.
What about what about these people? Most of them don't really host podcasts themselves, though.
Oh, well, where are their lists? Like, where are they followed?
Well, they're well-known musicians and entrepreneurs, and some of them have podcasts, but most of them don't really. But their followers would be on social media, and I'm guessing some of them would be having mailing list as well. It's
Oh, okay.
varied.
Yeah. So in that case, you would talk about collaborating on some content together, right? Or doing something to that effect, right? And I would really position this as there's a thing that you have, created that could benefit their their following. So, it doesn't matter if what you're asking for is podcast interview or guest post, if they have a blog, or like a list swap sort of guest email, like you want to like write something, just basically approach them as a collaborator, right? Approach them saying, I'm interested in a collaboration, and keep that open-ended so that you start a discussion, because what they feel would most benefit them and their audience may not be what you see. And a conversation is going to reveal all of that. But you do have to go in, as Tanya has mentioned here in the chat, you have to go in and believe in your worth walking in the door. And even though you don't have maybe the same list size or aren't as well known yet as they are, that you're walking human to human in the door as an equal to this person. And you're saying, hey, you know what? I think that we have something mutually beneficial to talk about. So let's talk about what that could look like. Are you open to that conversation? And then just let it go from there.
Gotcha. Okay, that's very helpful as usual. Thank you,
Yeah,
Ashley. Appreciate it.
absolutely. Glad we could have you out today. And good luck with that. I'm so excited to see what you do with it. Frank, okay, you said your screen with the pages to edit has gone blank. Do you want to come out and chat through it if you want to, if you're still here? Here we go. Just pop your hand up for me, Frank, because we could like troubleshoot and walk through something or talk through whatever it is that you're working on if you'd like. And we can, we can work on that or talk about that together. Just let me know while we're here live, or of course, next week, or reach out to support, whatever that looks like for you. And we have requests here. TL, keep us posted on how that goes. I think that is such an exciting thing that you're doing. And you've got some great opportunities. You're a well-networked person, and you have something incredibly valuable to offer. So you should get it out there in front of as many people who will pay attention. Awesome. So, all right. Well, Frank, definitely feel free to come back or, do this next week or whenever you're available. Oh, we got a hand up. Perfect. All right, let's try this again. Hi, Frank. Can we unmute? There we go. Hi.
There we go. Hi, I still can't get screens up, but I'll, and sometime I would like you to critique what I've done so far. But one of the big things I'd like to at least talk through is how to get a landing page that can get people to schedule appointments with me.
Okay. Okay. So tell me what that looks like for you. So you want a page where people can schedule with you?
Exactly.
Okay. And what scheduler are you using? Like Calendly, Acuity?
Actually, I don't, well, there's one that I've used in the past through HubSpot. My favorite calendar itself is Google.
Okay. Okay. So basically what you want to do is, and here, let me make sure I'm logged into an appropriate account here so I can demonstrate this for you. My recommendation is to have a scheduler, like a scheduler software that incorporates the use of your Google account. So I use Calendly. Our organization uses Calendly. There are other services out there. You can use the free Calendly if you're just getting started. It only allows you to create one booking event if you're using the free one. And for most folks, like that'll last you a really long time. So I've got a ton, obviously, but you would basically just create one and make it 30 minutes, 45, whatever that looks like. And essentially, and obviously there's some additional steps here. You're going to want to make sure that you're connecting your appropriate Google calendars. You're able to connect one via the free Calendly. I think I've got 2 or 3 connected to read my personal and my other work stuff so that there aren't any conflicts. So yeah, you create a booking event. And in that booking event, I'll just show you just generally how we would create this. We'll create a one-on-one, and that's with me. And then this would be, 45 minutes with me. The location is going to be in your AttractWell account. You're going to go in and create, and I'll just go ahead and do this for you. Under your Zoom meetings, you're just going to create a recurring meeting. And so this is recurring meeting for calendar. So we'll just call that recurring. We will start the video. I like to not start video automatically just to be mindful of people. And I'm going to enable the waiting room so that only the correct people get in. So create the meeting. And then the join link, which is this copy link right here, that's going to be the location, right? So we're going to put that down here under custom. We'll pop that in, and then we'll only display this after they have confirmed. So there's that. You could put additional information in here, but you don't have to, because we're going to be putting this onto a page in your AttractWell account. So we'll do next. You can set schedule, working hours, etc. here, which is great. So you create this event, and then once it's done, we're going to go to share it, add to website, inline embed, and then you'll have a code here that you can copy. And then you go into your AttractWell, you create a page. We'll just make a blank one because we really don't need anything except the form on this page. So we'll just pop in a single section. And then instead of this text, I'm going to pretend like I'm adding a video because we need to embed a code. Paste that code from Calendly here. And you now have the calendar on a page on your site. So you would just call this book a call with Frank, right? This name would be Book a Call with Frank. And then you could place that link that, your website.com/book a call with Frank. You could put that on the other side of a form on AttractWell, another page with a form where maybe they fill out a discovery call information, or you could just simply have it be a link on your site that people could just go to, maybe with like a 15-minute event instead of a 45 one. Does that make sense?
It does. And that's actually answered several other questions that I had. So that was very helpful.
Oh, good, good. Awesome. What else?
That's pretty much it for now.
All right, fantastic. Well, feel free to come back anytime. We're here to help.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure thing. Awesome. Great questions today, you guys. It's always awesome to see new faces or new names. Anyway, I can't see your faces. Great to see new names here. Thank you all for coming out and being amazing and sharing the good work that you do. Let us know what else you might want to learn about. We'll create new trainings to help you meet you where you are with what you are working on. So be sure to come back next week. Join us in our Facebook group. If you have not joined yet, that's Coaching Simplified with AttractWell. Definitely check out it's a cool group there. You don't have to be an AttractWell member to join. You can go in and learn a little bit more about us, learn from the community and how they use us. It's a really great space to really just be with people who are getting things done if that's something that matters to you. So we'll be back here same time next week. Thank you guys, and we'll see you then.